Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with FW Waller.
Greetings.
Yes, and today, as you can see, we're doing the Q&A, Transformers-centric Q&A thing. And yeah, I know I said I was going to do a last call one, but I was busy this week, and basically it didn't happen. And a lot of the people that I also wanted to join us could not make it, so here we are. But yeah, let's just jump right in to the questions, a whole list of them, and we're going to go from top to bottom, I guess. And yeah, so I guess we'll go with the first question. Comes from NB Free, I think that's the name. And the question is, who is your favorite Combinder in the Transformers universe?
Oh, that is so easy for me. All the way, I gotta go with Bruticus and the Combaticons.
I gotta go with Bruticus as well. And with Devastator as a close second.
Yeah, but one thing you have to understand though is that was before Fall of Cybertron came out.
Yeah.
I've always been a hardcore Bruticus fan, even before that game was made. And believe me, the news that Bruticus would be playable, that really made me shit bricks.
Yeah, and his level as playing as Bruticus is just amazingly awesome. And
yeah, but I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that if I had to choose a close second to Bruticus, I'd probably go with either Superion or Predaking.
Yeah, MB Free says Predaking is his favorite Combinder.
That's totally understandable.
Yeah. Same here with Bruticus, that I liked him before the Fall of Cybertron game. He was like probably in the G1 universe before we had like the other Combinders show up later on. Bruticus was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he dropped. He pretty much nearly took on all of Cybertron and was just dropping people left and right. It had to take the combined efforts of the Autobots and Decepticons to work together to at least shut him down. Yeah, and I like what they did with the Combaticons in the game, making them like a like a Decepticon, Black Ops team.
Yeah, and plus they also kept true to the fact that the Combaticons were kind of the brainchild of Starscream, kind of like they always have been.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for that question, MB Free, and now we're gonna go on to Lord Shen 12. Hope I'm saying that name right. And his question is, do you think Arachnid will be in the final season of Transformers Prime?
If I remember correctly, the last time we actually see her, she's imprisoned in the Autobots base, I think.
Yeah. Well, she's still entombed in that Insecticon canister. But the Decepticons have her on the Nemesis now, still entrapped. So they might let her out or something. I don't know. It's a possibility.
Well, just one minor complaint I have with the Insecticons is that I wasn't really too crazy about the fact that they all looked pretty much exactly the same. I kind of wish that they came up with at least a couple different designs for the Insecticons.
Yeah, like one that looks like Scorponok or something.
Yes, I will. Sorry, I was talking to my dad.
Ah, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Insecticons too, is that they look all the same. When we first saw them in Prime, I was like, oh my god, it's Bombshell! And then I was like, oh, they all look like that. That's something.
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
Yeah. And then it doesn't make sense, because in the Fall of Cybertron game, we have Scattershot, Kickback, and Bombshell. I mean, they go by slightly different names. Hardshell, and... Yeah, they go by slightly different names. But we know them, and they all...
Sharpshot, I think, was Scattershot's name.
Yeah, Sharpshot. And I was like, if this is supposed to be connected to the Prime universe, why don't we get different... Are they... I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the Prime TV shows, I think that shows connection with the with the Cybertron games is really kind of dubious at best. I really have a hard time believing that they're interconnected.
Yeah. No matter how many times Hasbro tells you.
Yeah, there's just too many contradictions.
So our next question comes from Travis Hrendon. Again, I'm really sorry if I mispronounce anyone's names. But Travis asks, excuse me. Travis asks, do you think the Dinobots will appear in Transformers Prime Season 3? I'd like to see them.
I'm not entirely sure. I from all the promotional stuff I've seen for Season 3, I haven't seen any instance of any of the Dinobots, so it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing. But then again, they did hide the fact that they had smoke. They were going to put Smokescreen in the show and Ultra Magnus. We didn't know that until like the week before the show was going to premiere in Season 3.
Ultra Magnus?
Yeah, he's in Season 3 of Prime.
Cool.
Yeah, he's voiced by Michael Ironside, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's the thing, like, I don't know, maybe we will get Grimlock. Maybe they're just hiding it, because I'm really hoping that they go down the route of having, since Shockwave is back in Season 3, I'm hoping that they'll have the Grimlock Shockwave rivalry again.
Yeah, I'm happy that they're bringing back Shockwave because I love that design that they made for him.
Yeah, and we have one or two Shockwave centric questions, so that'll be fun. So thank you for that question, Travis. Next comes from Mr. Caveman 366, and he asks, which incarnation of Megatron is your favorite and why? All right, I'm going to go ahead and answer this and say, if I had not seen Prime, I would have said for the longest time it was Beast Wars Megatron. That was the coolest incarnation. But Prime Megatron, I hate to sound like I'm not trying to conform to anything, but Prime Megatron is fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's a badass.
The thing with Prime Megatron, the Prime Universe Megatron, is that this guy is like Spartacus gone evil, and he's just this calculative, savage, brutal warrior. He is this just force of nature just to destroy everything. And what he does, like, it's not like with most Megatrons they're like, oh yeah, I'll totally get you next time, don't fail me, or I'll yell at you again and not do anything. You fail this guy enough, he will kill you, or do something worse, as we saw with that Silas guy. Yeah, that I don't want to know what happened when the door was closed, but oh god.
That was another big complaint of mine, is that I thought Silas was actually a really cool and intimidating villain, but the way they sort of ended him in the show was really anticlimactic.
Yeah, but it was creepy nonetheless.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that is sort of my favorite incarnation of Megatron. Is pretty much the more recent iterations of Megatron that you've seen along all the comics and video games, not the movies, but the badass former gladiator turned revolutionary leader Megatron.
Yeah, and he's kind of like Apocalypse when you think about it. He's like, only the strong survive. If you have these ideals, you're a weakling, and peace through tyranny.
Yeah, except I don't think Megatron really kidnaps 4 different people to be his horsemen.
You know what I mean, Ian.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our favorite. Like I said, a close second would have to be Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah, that Megatron was very calculating and very, very intelligent.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for that question, Caveman. We're going to IGKP. IGKP asks, with the new Transformers cartoon, with a new Transformers cartoon to soon come out, what would be your ideal Transformers show be about? Ian, you want to take this one?
The hell? Tyler?
What?
Hey, Tyler, you there?
Yeah, here.
Oh, okay. You sort of lagged out there for a second.
Yeah. The question was... wait, did you hear the question?
No, not really.
The question was, since there's a new Transformers cartoon, what would be your version of... what would be your Transformers cartoon be about?
Honestly, I'd kind of like to see, like, a more serious sort of redoing of the original 80s TV series.
Alright.
Like, sort of, it's done, like, with a more modern art style, but all the characters are pretty much exactly the same, but, you know, it's a lot more dark and epic and serious. If I had to choose, like, maybe one example, like, I've been reading the Marvel comics of the Transformers, the early Marvel comics, which are pretty much exactly what I'm talking about. They're a lot more dark, and they're a lot more violent and action-packed and epic, because it's just this big, long narrative string going out through, like, hundreds of comic issues.
Alright. You see, I would do something along the lines of the IDW comics, the early ones when the Transformers are the Autobots and Decepticons are secretly on Earth, and they're waging a secret war, and there's this secret government agency that wants the technology of both sides.
Okay.
I know it sounds a lot like Prime, but if anyone out there who's read the early IDW comics before it became the ongoings, it's a lot dark. It is very dark, and you know the Decepticons they're brutal in that comic. Like seriously, they wreck shit, and the human characters don't always make it out okay.
That's how it is for a lot of the comics, though.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them, really.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that question. And, yeah. Next question. Oh, did you have anything else to say about that one?
I guess, sort of. I guess one thing I would also like to see is given a lot more screen time to more characters that are extremely lesser known, like say Swoop, because in the Marvel comics that I read, you know, out of all the Dinobots, I think Swoop was like the most defined and the most unique and the most had the most amount of screen time. Same given to a lot of other sort of background characters like Rat-Bat or who else? Or Swindle from the Combaticons.
Yeah, I think also Trailbreaker got a few spotlights in that comic. I mean,
yeah, and also they sort of, you know, that comic was sort of killing characters off even before the 1986 animated movie was. So,
yeah, I remember when G.I. Joe killed Bumblebee in that series. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Yeah. Yes,
that's all I gotta say.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in the Marvel comics of G.I. Joe and Transformers, the Joes killed Bumblebee. Not Cobra, the Joes. So thank you for that question, IG. And now we move on to CHC Husser. Man, I'm going to butcher these names. I'm so sorry. But he asks, who is your favorite incarnation of Starscream?
Oh boy, that is tough to say.
Yeah.